In this episode, we transport you to Australia's glitter strip, the Gold Coast in Queensland, with its golden sandy beaches, vibrant nightlife and world-class attractions. We are lucky that the Gold Coast is right in our own backyard and we have visited many times. You will hear about a few of our favourite restaurants and some fantastic new ones that we discovered. We will tell you a funny story about how we saved $140 on one of our restaurant bills. Listen as we share the best beaches, walks and some great spots for a night out, including the famous Dracula's cabaret show. We'll give you some great accommodation options and the best way to get around, which involves leaving your car behind. On our last trip, we were there for the Gold Coast 500, which is an annual motor racing event held in the streets of Surfers Paradise. We're not usually big car racing fans, but we were there for a special reason, so listen to the end to hear Lyle boast all about it. Cheers! And welcome to the Beach Travel Wine Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Leanne.
And I'm Lyle, and this is the travel podcast for beach-loving, wine-drinking couples over 50.
So if that sounds like you, grab yourself a drink, sit back, relax and listen as we go travelling the world, one wine at a time.
Cheers.
G'day, Lyle.
Hola.
Well, the deviation.
Yeah.
Okay.
How they hanging?
So we're back today with a new podcast episode, and as you can tell from my salutation,
Salutation.
Big word, right off the top of the bat, right? We are podcasting today about a place in Australia in our backyard called the Gold Coast. So hence, the Ola and, mi amigo and all that sort of stuff. We're going. We're like China plate. G'day, how you going?
Yeah.
No?
It's
doesn't sound as cool, does it?
nothing's happening. So we're talking about the Gold Coast, which is in the state, the very, very sunny state of Queensland.
It's called the Sunshine State for a reason.
It is. It's got a population of about 5.2 mil.
Queensland.
Yes. Yeah. And it's got an area of 1.853 million square metres. Yes, folks, that's right. That's just one state in Australia.
Yeah, it's massive.
It's got the Great Barrier Reef, the world's largest coral reef system, hosts thousands of marine species, and that actually is 348,700 square kilometres as well.
And you can see that from space, apparently.
Well,
I don't know that I'll ever find that out.
You can. It is larger than all but 15 countries, Queensland.
Wow, okay. That's huge.
Now, Queensland, I'm going to read this, is Queensland geographical features and climate are diverse, including subtropical rainforests, rivers, coral reefs, mountain ranges and sandy beaches, in its tropical and subtropical coastal regions, as well as deserts and savannas in the semi-arid and desert climate regions in the interior.
Do you know what? That sounds so nice. I'd like to live there.
Well, it's so big that it had all these different climates. Yeah. Like, it's huge. Now, as far as history, really, we've only been going about 250 years, so there's no comparison to the old Spain. In 1770, James Cook claimed the east coast of Australia for the Kingdom of Great Britain. In 1788, Arthur Phillip founded the colony of New South Wales, which included all of what is now Queensland. And Queensland was named after Queen Victoria.
Oh, there you go. All right, so that's a big summary of the state. The Gold Coast is probably the most southern city in Queensland.
Yeah, it begins about 30 kilometres southeast of Brisbane.
Which is the capital of Queensland, yeah.
It extends for some 40 kilometres along the state's southeastern coastline, from Paradise Point along the Pacific Highway to Coolangatta at New South Wales border.
Yeah, and beautiful spot, really. It's, and there's a hinterland as well, right?
Yeah, the hinterland. Look, it's just 30 minutes from the beaches. It's
like Tambourine Mountain we're talking about.
Yeah, you're talking about. You've got the Lamington National Park, and that's about 160 kilometres of well-maintained bush trails. You've got Riley's Rainforest Retreat.
Yeah.
That's pretty famous. We used to run an accommodation place in Montville, which is on the Sunshine Coast hinterland. So O'Reilly's was probably, in some respects,
the competition.
Yeah, the competition. But it's a beautiful spot. And then you've got specifically the Rainforest Skywalk.
Oh, yeah.
Is located in Mount Tambourine, 1.5 kilometres high through the middle and upper rainforest canopy. So that's nice. And there's also, and I know Leanne's not going to appreciate this because she wants to do a hot air balloon in Turkey somewhere, but there is a hot air balloon there's a few companies in the Sunshine, the Gold Coast hinterland. It's about $250 a person. So, but yeah, it is beautiful. We drove through. Is it the Pacific Rim? Is that what they call it?
No, the Scenic Rim.
The Scenic Rim.
Yes.
Coming in from
western sort of Queensland.
Toowoomba through there, and it's beautiful. It really is nice, and beautiful, green, lush, hilly, glorious. All
the way down to the Gold Coast.
That's true.
Which is the main topic of our podcast today. So you've got a good overall summary there of where it is and what's around it. So the Gold Coast is what in Australia is known as the glamour strip, and it's
the glitter strip too.
Glitter and glamour. They go hand in hand. But what it's well known for, of course, are the beaches, right? And it's it has surf beaches. Some famous surf beaches as well, doesn't it? So there's like 57 kilometres of beach line or something or more, I think.
Look, it is beautiful. The city's coastline forms a large crescent-shaped bay, ensuring there is almost always a surf-able option in all wind and swell conditions. A remarkable surfing fun park bookended by Snapper Rocks and the South Stradbroke Island, with the famous point breaks. And these are supposed to be some of the best point breaks in the world. There's Snappers, there's Greenmount, Kira and Burleigh, which is supposed to be the best. When we talk about Snapper Rocks, there's Leanne and I have been to the Snapper Rocks Surf Club. It's right on the point, and it's a pretty old building. It's real old school.
It's got a lovely old timber veranda, hasn't it?
Yeah, but it's we love it.
I've got some photos of that with the show notes that go with this episode at beachtravel1.com. I took some nice photos around that Snapper Rocks area. So the four sort of famous beaches that I think most people have heard of would be Surfers Paradise, which is the most famous, and that's what's got the famous old meter maids, hasn't it?
Well, Surfers Paradise is 2 kilometres long.
Right. Cavill Avenue is the main street, and that's named after someone who...
Jim Cavill.
Jim
Cavill was an old publican from Brisbane, and he bought originally about 10 hectares, and he was basically the pioneer. And Surfers Paradise is like...
And it's where they do schoolies too, isn't it?
But it's sort of got that high-rise backdrop.
Yes.
And these beautiful beaches, and unfortunately with the high-rise that... means the sun disappears a little bit early on the beaches. But seriously, absolutely spectacular.
And then, so there's Broadbeach is another popular spot. I'm going to tell you a couple of places that's really a nice place to stay in Broadbeach in a minute, but it's more known. It's it's more of the restaurant shopping area, Broadbeach.
Yeah, it's...
isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit more sophisticated, probably. I'd suggest.
A bit like us, really, don't you think?
Oh, that's pushing it.
And then Burleigh, as you mentioned, which is more of a bohemian laid back, apparently. And there's like a national park in there as well, around that area. Yeah,
but I suppose we had some friends up just recently, and they were talking about surface and how the people are different. Yeah, like if you...
very glamorous.
They're very, very glamorous. The guys have got lots of muscles and lots of tattoos, and the girls have...
got lots of fillers and things.
Yeah, and tattoos.
But it's great. I love going people watching there.
Oh yeah, look, it's they're very proud of themselves.
Yes.
But look, it does give a great vibe to the city.
And then right down the bottom, which you mentioned just a minute ago, is Coolangatta, which is, I think, is much more relaxed. It's not as tattooy and stuff as you were just mentioning. Then it's right there on the river as well. Coolangatta down the bottom.
Yeah,
so,
well, we've been down there. We've seen some shows down there at Twin Towns, which is
where the Twin Town Club is.
Yeah, Leanne's favourite.
One of my favourites, Susie Quattro.
It would be close to be a favourite female.
Oh, my favourite female for sure.
Yeah, Susie Quattro.
Yeah.
Down there at Twin Towns.
Yeah. So there's lots of beaches, and it's all spread out, isn't there? Like from one end to the other. Si or no? I mean, I can't say si or no. What do I say now? Right or rightio?
Right on.
One of the places that we think is a great place to stay if you're heading to the Gold Coast for whether it's a few days or a week is in that Broad Beach area. And I'm just going to tell you about a couple of places that we have stayed, and one that we can see from where we stayed that would be a very nice place to stay if money wasn't an option, I'd imagine. So the Broad Beach is sort of quite as I was saying before, a restaurant area and a shopping area, and at one end of that is apartments called a villa, A-V-I-L-A, and they're self-contained, so you can stay there for a week. The full kitchen, fully furnished, all that sort of stuff, and that we really enjoyed that because it was basically right across from the casino, which you're going to tell us about in a minute, and also Pacific Fair Shopping Centre, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute as well, and down beneath, like they've got a swimming pool, a fitness area, and they've got restaurants and things below there as well. So that's the Villa Apartments, and that's right on that main road in the Gold Coast. Was it Gold Coast Highway? Is that what it's called?
Sure.
I think so. Yeah. Okay. And then just up from there was where we stayed last time, which is the Oaks Apartments, and that was in a great spot too. Sort of, there's a lot of different Oaks. It's like a chain around Australia, but this one is like it's 4.5 star hotel, and it's really in a great spot to walk to the beaches and other restaurants and that sort of stuff as well. And even though it wasn't fully self-contained, they do have apartments with little kitchenettes, and we had great views from there, and I think I'd go back and stay there again in a heartbeat because it was in such a good spot, wasn't it? Easy to get to, easy parking.
Yeah, and I think the other side of it too, the fact that you can walk out the front door and catch the light rail down further to where the casino is. Sure. Or into Service Paradise.
Yes.
And it's takes 6 minutes and no drive. You don't have to get your car. It's just fabulous. It's cheap as chips. I think. We paid, initially we paid about $2 to get to Surface, but then we realised that as part of our ticket to the races, it was free.
Well, the races we're going to tell you about in a minute. That's the reason we were there this time. But it's called the G-Link, the tram, and it goes from where? Up north in Helensvale, is it?
Yeah, it's about 20 kilometres, and it goes from, north Helensvale down to South Broad Beach, which the last stop I think is just basically opposite the casino.
Pacific Fair Casino.
So if you like a bit of a punt, it's really, really handy.
There's 19 stops along the way, and they come every 7 to 8 minutes depending on peak time. So it's easy to get on off. You can buy tickets ahead, which can be cheaper, or what we were doing. What you can do is just tap on and tap off now.
That's
with
right.
Your card, so you don't even have to buy a ticket ahead of time.
Yeah, so you tap on. You don't get on the tram. There's a little,
I don't know, like a little box thing. What do you call it?
Terminal.
There we go.
You just tap before you get on the tram, and then when you get off, you just tap again, and then that fixes the price.
All right. Well, so we've talked about where we've stayed. So let's start when we were down. The Villa Apartments. When you stay there. Or you can get the tram, but that's really close to, I'll go first, Pacific Fair, which is the largest shopping centre in the Gold Coast, and it's and actually it's one of the biggest in the region. It's got over 400 shops, so that's...
it's huge.
Yeah, it is huge. But besides that, it's not just shops though. Like it's open. There's parts of it that are open air, and there's restaurants and playgrounds and live entertainment, and there's like a food court area, but it's not your typical food court area. It's nice restaurants and nicely decorated, and there's quite a lot of restaurants and cafes to choose from. Lots of parking too if you're not on the tram. Like there's plenty of parking if you're driving there, and there's a big cinema complex there as well. Like lots of, like I think there's, well, I don't know, I think there was about 4 different theatres and also playground areas. So it's sort of a destination, not just to go shopping. And a lot of people do state that into the Gold Coast to go to the Pacific Fair Shopping Centre, and I have spent a bit of money there.
Yeah, no, it's nice. I think it was the original, very, very, very large shopping centre.
Yeah.
And fortunately, they've kept it up to scratch. They've, renovated and re-renovated and re-renovated. So it
Re-what?
I can't say it. Re-renovated consistently. So it's, it's pretty classy.
I don't even know that you need to say re-renovated. I think you can just say renovated. Same thing. Do you think?
Probably, but it would have been done several times. But we won't go there.
And right next to Pacific Fair, Lyle, is the casino, which we've stayed there too. Now it has some accommodation options, and but you tell us about the casino. It used to be called Jupiter's, but it's not now, is it?
No, it's called the Star.
Right.
It's Star Casino. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week. You get the chance to lose your money. Fortunately for Leonita and I, neither of us are gamblers. So the reason we've been there is to give ourselves a bit of a spoil. They've got a beautiful outdoor pool. They very often have international acts, whether it be comedians, like Jimmy Carr was just there recently.
And Australian famous.
Acts. Oh, yes, we did see your favourite male, Jimmy Barnes, did an acoustic concert there. We went to that.
There's some nice restaurants, isn't there?
There's different styles. There's Japanese, there's Italian, there's a rooftop restaurant.
We didn't find that.
Yeah, and we went to, pretty sure we went to the Italian.
Yeah.
But then one other night we got room service, but we won't go into that. Anyway, moving right along. But you'll see ABBA shows, and you'll see magicians. There's always something going on.
Really famous cabaret acts as well.
Yeah, and they have a piano bar, so if you just want to go down and just have a drink around the bar. And generally, the piano, the performers are excellent.
Yeah.
They might be famous, but they're excellent. They sing all the right songs, and by the time you've had a couple of mojitos and a couple of glasses of vino blanco, we're singing along. And I'm pretty sure they've got a karaoke bar too.
Right. Well, we better go back.
So no, look, it's really good. It's really handy.
And that's right on that main Gold Coast Highway as well.
Sure.
And it's opposite a tram station, the Broadbeach tram station. And, so right on that sort of very popular area. But just around the corner from the casino...
just around the corner, there is... For me, one of the best nights I've ever had. It's called it's Dracula's.
Yeah.
And it's
a cabaret sort of show with dinner, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just the best.
Yeah, it's a entertainment venue, and it's known for its live music, cabaret, nightlife, and it's a bit spooky, isn't it? Like it's
vampire themed.
Yeah.
And when you get there, you get on a ghost train.
Yeah.
And you go through you get a bit of a fright, and then you get the opportunity to get a photo with some of the staff, and they're all dressed theme wise.
Yes.
And it's, what would you call it? As you say, live cabaret.
Sure.
It's old school vaudeville.
Well, but there's everything from glow in the dark giant dinosaurs dancing to cabaret girls, like Moulin Rouge kicking their legs up. Burlesque, there we go. And to acoustic people singing Hotel California, to...
juggling, magic, aerial performance.
Yeah.
If you can think of it, the chances are, while you're there, you're going to see it. And the thing for me, and I'm basically from the hospitality seen myself many years ago, the food was fabulous.
Well,
and
that's
our
right.
service was
you can
great.
have a meal as part of it. You don't have to do the meal.
No.
You can just go into the show, but we got the VIP meals, and we were sort of sitting up a bit higher, and they bring the meals out, and it's all part of the show.
So dinner and show, Monday, not on the weekends, is 104. If you do the VIP, it's 114 per head. Best value I've seen for entertainment.
And what's it for weekends? Is that what you said?
134 and 144.
Okay. It was really great. And we got some little handout fun things to use as well, and as in Dracula themed things that we
sure.
got, yeah.
Look, I think even the desserts come out in a chocolate coffin.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to mention that.
But we better warn folks, it is R-rated.
Oh, sure.
You know,
yeah.
If you're easily offended, chances are you'll be offended. Sure. Leanne and I thought it was fabulous.
Yeah, and apparently there's a bar there, and called the Vampire's Lair, and there's a dance floor, so you can actually stay there and dance. I didn't know that. We didn't know that at the time.
I think we might have been a bit tired and emotional.
Well, some of us were anyway.
Yeah. At the end of the night, we just went home.
The Gold Coast is well known for something else besides all the adult stuff we like, and that's the theme parks. Yeah,
so we've gone from the R-rated Dracula show to the theme parks. Now, the theme parks are all located together. It's about 20 minutes drive from the
centre of town.
The centre of Surface. You can catch buses there, and I'm sure that there would be shuttle services, and you've got
just to add there, I know you can catch the tram right up to Helensvale, and then there's a shuttle bus from the tram station.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, you've got Dreamworld, and that's basically rides. That's what they're really... And a tiger show.
Yes.
They have live tiger shows. You've got SeaWorld, which is my favourite, it's actually...
It's a little bit separate, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit separate. That's Southport.
Yeah.
And I can remember going there as a kid... And taking the kids there, and it's just fabulous. It's got the dolphin show,
ski show,
and the ski, the water skiing. Water skiing. Well, when I did a bit of research for this, it's still there.
Yeah.
The water skiing. It's a great day. Great day.
So Dreamworld is near Wet and Wild and Movie World. They're the other sort of the three there together. And Movie World's obviously what you think it is. It's got the latest movies and characters and. That changes from time to time.
Yeah, at the moment it's Batman's Legacy.
Right, okay.
So, costumes and cars and props and that's fabulous. And Wet and Wild has got the tallest water park slide in Australia. And,
it's fun.
Every time Leah and I drive past it, we both say, oh, I'd love to stop there. I'd love to. However... I think at our age, the chances of actually being able to walk out of there after doing some of those slides would be a big ask.
But, however, they also have one of those sort of float pools, so you get a big sort of, donut ring that you sit in, and it just gradually just takes you around nice and slow. So there's more things up our alley.
Oh, it'd be a big donut round, really, when you think about it.
I don't know if they'll appreciate that.
But the prices?
Sure.
The prices, okay, so a super pass, a four park 7-day pass, $199.
Per person. Yep.
Yep. 3 parks, 3 days, $179, and a single day is $109. Look, I reckon it's pretty good value.
Yeah, and I know they often do annual passes too, and I know
sure they do.
Families,
for locals.
Yeah. So that's a lot of fun. So a lot of people go there, specifically for theme parks, and I understand that, and they're a lot of fun for sure. See or not?
Oh yeah, look, I suppose. Yeah, look, it's for the kids and the kids,
teenagers and the big kids.
Yeah, and they love it.
My adult kids go and enjoy it, so it's not just the little ones. So so that's the theme parks. And Lyle, when you've been out at the theme parks all day, you go home hungry.
You do.
Yeah, good segue. You like that?
Yeah. I'm not sure how we're going today, because when was the last time we actually did a podcast? It's been because it's like Christmas and New Year, and we've had guests staying with us, and it's I hope we're sounding okay.
Does it matter?
Not really.
Oh. Well, no one will tell us anyway.
Anyway, so when we come home after, Wet and Wild and Dreamworld and
You little liar.
And although we did eat at Dracula's, and as I said, the food was great, there are some absolutely spectacular restaurants.
Yeah, and there are, and we sort of are going to mention a few here just because there's a few that stood out to us in that sort of Broadbeach area. And we were going from, a basic surf club sort of meal area to a pretty high-end seafood buffet. Yeah? Okay, so let's start with the Kurrawa Surf Club, because that's right there at Broadbeach, and it's right on the beach, and beautiful views, big open windows. It just has your traditional sort of club food though, burgers and fish and pizzas and some nice food. But it's such a magnificent spot.
Yeah, well, what you've got to understand with the surf clubs in Queensland is that they generally are leased from the Queensland government, so they're in really, really prime positions right on the beach. They can have, I think, up to 200 gaming or poker machines, as you call it, so they can afford, fabulous infrastructure, these restaurants, and the clubs themselves. And so, like, they're just mammoth. They're just huge and modern, and
but that Kurrawa one's really nice, isn't it? And where we've had dinner there a couple of times. Yeah,
sure. And except for if you want to be a walk-in.
Yeah, it's another whole story, isn't it? That's weird. Anyway, we tried to book, and we went in the door and said, "Can we book for tonight?" And the guy said, "No, and we're fully booked." And he said, "But there's only walk-ins left." And so we said, "Well, can we book as a walk-in?" And he's like, "No, we're fully booked."
Yeah, he really got the shits and said, "No, didn't you understand me?" I said, "We're fully booked." So anyway, we went, "Oh, well, fair enough. We'll go up and have a drink." And we go up the escalator, and we get to the top, and Leanne charges to one of the staff there, and I'll let you finish the story.
I just remember you went to the bar, and I saw someone there at the, not the terminal, but
podium.
The podium. And I just said, we don't have a booking, but I believe you take walk-ins. And they said, "Yes, do you want a table?" I said, "Well, yes, when can we have one?" And they said, "Well, would you like one now?" And I said, "Sure." And they asked me, would you want to sit here, here, or here? And how many is there, and how long do you want to stay? So we didn't really need a booking.
I just couldn't fathom their system.
Quite figure it out yet.
But
underneath the Kurrawa Surf Club, there's also like a cafe, which is obviously really busy in the mornings with coffee and that sort of stuff.
We've also got the markets right next door.
Yeah, so that's right. I don't know how often they're there, but they seem to be there every
time we have been there.
Weekend. Yeah. So a nice area, and they also do like outdoor sort of concert venues. They had a country music sort of
groundwater.
Not like an event there as well.
Yeah, they called it groundwater, and everywhere you went in that Broadbeach area for that weekend, there was country music everywhere.
Yeah,
there was some venues you had to pay. There was other venues that you didn't have to pay, and it was packed.
Yeah, it was packed.
But it had just such a great atmosphere.
Sure. So that's that's the Kurrawa sort of surf club area with the markets and all that sort of stuff. One of the, I'm just going to talk quickly about, there's a restaurant across from the casino called it's called the Hideaway Kitchen and Bar, and I really like that one. It's like a street food place. Yeah, so lots of sort of Asian food, and share plates, which is what they have, which is another restaurant we're going to tell you about in a minute too. But this one, you sort of go through the restaurant, and out the back, that's probably what's called Hideaway. There's this lovely big courtyard, isn't it? Outdoors and really nicely decorated, and it's not quite as upmarket as some of the others, but the food was amazing, like beef tataki with garlic chips, yum, and sticky, spicy, sweet lamb ribs.
Yeah, it was damn good.
Thai crispy prawns with jalapeno aioli.
And if I remember, it wasn't that dear.
No, we can actually get what they call a street feast if you can't pick what you want, and that's a $65 per person, you know, so that's, you know, like you can choose any 3 plates you want plus entree and dessert. Like, it's amazing. So that's the Hideaway Kitchen and Bar.
You realise I haven't had lunch?
Yeah, me either.
You're just making me hungry, man.
So I really like that one. But if you like Asian food, then...
I know where you're going.
Do you know where I'm going with this one?
Yeah.
If you'd like Asian food, then the place you need to go is Mama Sands at Broadbeach. It is amazing. And did you know it, besides being, you know, like, have amazing food, and they've actually won a Australian Wine List of the Year awards in 2018, 2019.
May I say, the times that we have been there, we've been there now twice, and each time one of the reasons we've gone is because they have the Amersfield Sauv Blanc.
They have a nice one.
They're an Otago, New Zealand Sauv Blanc, and it is absolutely superb. Dear as poison, but...
So Mama Sands is
wine.
like a blend of the traditional and modern cuisine from Southeast Asia. So, and they reckon, not that I had one, but a zesty cocktail list. So,
zesty what?
A zesty cocktail list with a focus on...
Fair enough.
with a focus on share food once again. So listen to this. Some of their plates are ocean trout sashimi with blackened chili dressing. Yeah. Crab slaw with shredded mixed cabbage, vermicelli, coriander and wasabi mayo.
Oh, you're not helping my hunger.
Moreton Bay bug wok toss with unami black pepper, sweet corn cakes, and some of my favourite, this is like dumplings, spanner crab ravioli dumplings. Hello. Asian mushroom wontons. I remember them.
That's what we had. That was...
And these. Larger plates. Duck pancakes.
That's it.
With sweet hoisin, cucumber and shallot. And Singapore snapper curry, mild and sweet. That's just some of the stuff from Mama Sands. MAMASAN in Broadbeach. It is amazing.
It's not as fabulous as that sounds. It tastes even better.
Well, if you haven't had enough food, we're just about to up it one more level, because this place we went to is called the Akoya Restaurant. And let me read you this, okay? Let's get one thing clear from the outset. There are hotel buffets, and then there is Akoya at the Langham Hotel at the Gold Coast. Is that right, or is that right?
Yeah. Sure.
So the Langham is basically a luxury accommodation right on the beach at Broadbeach, and it's called the Jewel because there's like 3 tall buildings.
Towers, yeah.
Yeah, towers, that's right. Thank you, towers. And I've got some gorgeous photos of those on our website, www.beachtravelwine.com, and I've taken a picture in the morning, at sunset, at night, and from the beach, and you can just it is stunning. Like, it's got executive suites. It's like, we'll probably never afford to stay there. However, we could afford to eat there, sort of.
Sure.
And
well, if you're staying there, you don't get the view of it. So where would we say? The Oaks.
Yes.
So we had this beautiful view of the beach, and in front of, in between is this beautiful, like, jewel, I suppose you'd call it.
Yeah.
Building. So yeah, if you stay there, you don't get that.
Yes. And there's some, as I said, photos of that, and then I've also got photos of the buffet. Now, quick, long story short, as Lyle would say. We went in, wanted to see the menu. The guy was speaking Spanish. I was, good.
I think Leanne's she's covering this a little bit too quick. Because what happened was, we'd gone down to specifically for a car racing event, but we got there on the Thursday because we like to get there a day early and just do nothing. Anyway, so we walked along the beach, and I think we even
so much for my long story short. You've taken over.
We went over, because it's funny. We went over and we even had a swim. It was a bit chilly, but it was beautiful. And as we're walking back, we had a bite to eat, and then we walked into this beautiful building, and there was a restaurant that basically on the bottom floor that had magnificent views of the ocean, and it looked pretty upmarket. So I walked in. I said to the young girl, have you got any menus? She obviously was new. She's looking for the menus. And then a gentleman who looked like Adonis walked towards me, and he had that South American look about him, and he was Cuban. And can you remember what his name was?
Oh, no, I can't.
No, you were too busy drooling. Anyway, Leanne, I picked straight away the accent, or he had a Spanish accent. I said, "Oh, where are you from?" He said, "Cuba." And so Leanne then decided she was going to improve her Spanish. Anyway, at the end of it, we said, "How much?" And he said, "It's a seafood buffet." And we said, "How much?" And what we thought he said was $190 a head. And we've gone, okay. Let us think about it. And anyway, we walked out. I reckon we probably took 3 steps. And I looked at Lee and I said, "Are you kidding? Who cares what it costs? It looks like it's going to be nice. He's probably going to be on. You'll be able to talk Spanish. You know, it'll be worth the Spanish lesson." Anyway, so we go out, come back that night. We're first there, and we've walked in, and there are chrome buckets of lobster tail.
Yeah, so it's a seafood buffet, and there's lobsters, there's bugs, there's prawns, there's every sort of oyster you can imagine. There's smoked salmon, there's sashimi, there's tuna, there's scallops. And
they had that Asian area.
Sure. Well, there's a dedicated section for Asian flavours, including freshly made sushi and stir fries. And then there's a wood-fired oven which makes pizzas as well. And then, as you did, you gravitated towards the grill, and there's like a whole lot of meat and smoked meat section. So there's like everything there that you could.
Yeah, they have. I think what they had lamb shoulder, and they had pig's cheek, or what is it, pork cheek? Yeah. And I love lamb, so I couldn't help myself. And I thought, well, if the seafood is that good, obviously, so is going to be the roast meats, and it was fabulous. Wait, ate far too much.
Yeah, I was going to say Lyle probably ate more than.
But which is not me normally. Normally, I'm a bit conservative. The old buffets.
The little dumplings and everything they had were beautiful. It was.
It is the best buffet I have ever seen.
And then
by a long, long way.
Yeah, well, that's what this review said. Like there's buffets, and then there's the
it was fabulous. Anyway, we had a bottle of wine.
But can I just finish?
Yeah.
Like you've talked about your meat, but hello.
Pardon?
When we go around the corner,
my meat.
When there's like there's that dessert station, a whole wall of these gorgeous little morsels of desserts, and
individual serves of each dessert.
And I've got some really good photos of those on our website at the show notes that go with this episode. So go and check those out if you want to be sitting there drooling like Lyle is now. Can you hang in there, honey?
Yeah. Well, there was individual cakes. There was individual cream caramels. Macarons. There was individual
cheesecakes. There was everything.
Little
fruit tarts,
creme brulees.
Yeah, all the stuff.
Oh my goodness, it was just
we should
fabulous.
have got a doggy bag for that, shouldn't we?
I'm not sure I don't think you get a doggy bag for the lobster tail.
Yeah, so that's Akoya, Akoya, is at the Langham at the Gold Coast, and that's very close to the Oaks accommodation that we were staying, and very close to a tram station. If you're not staying there, easy enough to get to. It's about a 2-block walk from the tram station, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
or another place you can go to eat if you're sick of eating all that food is across the road and get a sandwich.
Yeah, which was what we did. But just to finish off on Akoya.
Yes.
We went to the counter and to pay the bill, and we were probably first to leave, I suppose. Anyway, I'm expecting, $190 each. There's $380. The bottle of wine was probably $70. I'm looking at just under $500, which is, is pretty out there, like expensive. But certainly weren't complaining about how the quality of the food or everything. It was just fabulous. But anyway, when I've done the bill, I didn't even really look because I didn't want to look. I was scared. Anyway, but I had built the courage up to have a look. The bill was about $249.
Oh, and it was a little bit more.
Was it? Or $289?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
That's right, $289. And the problem was, obviously, Leanne didn't speak Spanish that well. She must have misheard the gentleman.
Oh, me?
Well, I did too. But it was not $190. it was $119 a head.
Yeah.
So for $119 a head, it is the best value in Queensland.
But I reckon you got $190 worth of lobster because you were determined, and you certainly got $119.
Oh, look, I to this day, I don't know how they do it. And they do, the actual seafood buffet is every day.
Yeah, I would go back and stay where we stayed and go there again.
Oh, without question. And I do, and you know, if you're going to do a weekend, you'd slip in a Dracula's as well.
Absolutely, sure. Rightio, now here's Lyle's chance to have a little show off, a little show and tell. We're going to tell you, or Lyle's going to tell you, the reason we were at the Gold Coast this last time. You've obviously been there several times before, but we had a very special reason to be at the Gold Coast at the end of October, didn't we? And what was that for, Lyle?
We went down to see the Gold Coast 500. It's an annual motor racing event for the Supercars V8s, held at the Surfers Paradise Street Circuit. However, we went to see my godson Harry Jones compete in the last round of the Michelin Porsche Carrera Cup Australian Championship.
So what they do is they block off a lot of the streets in that Surfers Paradise area, don't they? And they race around the actual streets of Surfers Paradise. And it was a bit exciting, a bit noisy, you know, all the above. Like, we weren't really interested in the V8 cars, which a lot of people were there for. We were there to see the Porsche, the Carrera Cup, and it was the last round. Yeah.
Harry was leading into the last round and had already won the Michelin Porsche Carrera Junior Championship. However, the Australian Championship was still up for grabs. After practice, Harry was on pole, and his father explained to me why he wanted to be on pole, because that gives you an advantage going into qualifying. And then
So they do 2 practices, the qualifying, and 3 races over the weekend, yeah?
Correct, yeah. So, Harry's father said to me at qualifying, he said, it's all going to happen in the last 5 minutes, so don't worry about where he is. And sure enough, in the last 5 minutes of the qualifying round, it looked like actually Harry had stopped, but what he'd done is he'd let the rest of the cars go in front of him, and then he just went and he got pole position. So, which was really exciting.
So that was in qualifying, pole?
Yeah, he got pole. And then...
practice 1?
Actually, hang on. I think I may have made a mistake there. After practice, Harry was on a pole. After qualifying, he was positioned 4th on the second row of the grid. So after race 1, he was in position 6. After race 2, he was in position 5, and in race 3, all he had to do was finish in the top 10 or better, and he won the championship. Now, we were lucky to be invited into the pit lane before the last race, and it was really emotional and
he was there with all his supporters, like his team, the mechanics, and you know, family and friends, and we were included in that, which was really nice.
Yeah, so... I couldn't believe it. He actually went around and
thanked everybody, didn't he?
And shook hands with all his support crew, family, friends, and give all the ladies a kiss on the cheek. This is before he gets in
to maybe win the championship.
To me, that was just showed what a classy young bloke he is.
It was very nerve-wracking, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, and anyway,
as
we've said. He came 6th in the last race. He only had to be 10th or better, so he's got the championship. So again, his parents invited us into the pits to celebrate, and talk about nerve-wracking watching that last race. But to go into the pits and see the emotional relief, celebration, that's something that I'll take to my grave. I really, really enjoyed it, and we were actually lucky enough to be in Adelaide, which is another state in Australia, to see him win his first Carrera Cup Junior Championship at the Bend. And that's another racetrack.
we'll probably maybe talk about that in another podcast. But this race, you know, like we were there for a specific reason, and we could hop on the tram just outside our accommodation, and we could hop off just near the racetrack, and it was easy to get up there and back, wasn't it? We had to, you know, share the tram with some, you know, Holden and, you know, all the V8 supercar supporters, which is interesting. It's not easy to see the race when you're trackside in a street circuit, but they have all the big screens up around the place. You know, there's bars, there's food outlets, and it was quite hot too, so everyone's sort of really fighting to get under the shade. And noisy, you know, and I'll probably add some of the noise to the... You've probably already heard it. I probably should give people a warning ahead of time. I sort of taped some audio from the cars going past, you know. Yeah. It was pretty full on. I really enjoyed the V8 utes too. Like, that was a bit of a fun race for me. And then they had a Hot Wheels like group, you know, like a exhibition, you know. So they had a big Hot Wheels ute and a little car, and, you know, that was a bit of fun.
Miniature car, for the kids, doing wheelies and all that sort of thing.
And you
I
was going to say, there's places that people book every year which are right inside the track.
Sure.
And they're out on the balcony, and they've got their big speakers, and they're pumping music, and they've got cutouts of, you know, whether it's, I don't know, racing car drivers or friends that can't be there. It's like it's a massive party atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah, and at night there's just discos,
entertainment,
and well, there's actually a DJ at the track the whole time you're there. Yeah. So look, we cheated a bit because we weren't that interested in the V8s. So after each of the practice and the qualifying and the races, in between races, we'd
nick home on the
tram. Tram. Yeah, it was only about 6 minutes to get back to the hotel.
No one else was on there either, because they're all watching the V8s.
They're all watching the race. So we'd go home and
have a swim
in the accommodation pool, and then, you know, there was normally about 3 hours break in between, whether it be a practice or a race or whatever. So we just did it really, really easy. I'd go down, as you said, have a swim, get ready, jump on for a 6-minute tram ride, go into the circuit, and where we were, or where the pits were
right at the entrance.
Right at the entrance to where we went in. So it was just perfect. Yeah. It was really, really good.
One of the, before we finish up, you're just about finished, one of the things we, as you know from our previous podcast, if you have listened, is we do love to walk, and there is a really fabulous walkway all along the beach there at the Gold Coast, isn't it? And they're actually adding bits to that all the time, and there's a new bit they've just opened there at Broadbeach, which is 4 metres wide. So you can almost walk all the way along the Gold Coast now, and there's bikes and scooters and stuff. It's so you could walk from where we were to the racetrack. However, it was so hot, and we carried backpacks and things with us. So, but if you're not going there for a special event like that, and you just want to get up and do your morning exercise, you can walk. You can see the beach the whole way. Yeah, isn't it? It's really lovely there, and it takes you right down past that Karawa Surf Club, which we've been down past there. Mermaid Beach is down that way too, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just some lovely views along the way, and you sort of tuck in behind some of the beaches, and then some nice houses and things. So it's a really nice spot for a few days, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good getaway, and I just want to finish off with we didn't actually get a chance to do this, but it's called Kokomo Cruises.
We will get a chance to do that.
Next time we're down, it's Harry's brother Nick Jones, and he's got they've got a specialty whale watching boat. It's brand new. It's for adults $75, children $60.
And they guarantee to see whales?
Yeah, it's a guarantee to see whales. And so if you do go out and you miss out, which is rare, that tickle will entitle you to go back again.
And when there's no whales, they do sunset cruises?
Yeah, sunset cruises, which, you imagine how beautiful that'd be in the canals of the surface, and with all the high-rise backdrop with the lights. And,
it'd be stunning.
And that includes a catered.
Okay. So
like food. And
they also do, from time to time, they do trips over to the islands for surfing and also snorkeling now. So
Yeah. Well, Nick was ranked in the world for longboard surfing, so he knows what he's talking about. And
yes, that's Kokomo Cruises.
Yeah, Kokomo Cruises.
Yeah.
I'm sure, as I said, we didn't get a chance because we were too busy watching his brother. But look, great bloke, great family. I'm sure it'll be fabulous.
All right, Lyle, that's the Gold Coast. The glamour strip, the party strip, the restaurant strip, the racing car strip. Like, it's got everything you need at the Gold Coast for, as we said, from families, from the theme parks right through to, luxury accommodation. And, certainly, we're going to go back.
Well, I think that I just hope we did it justice, because it's that good.
It is that good. All right, well, I'd say hasta luego, pero no es español.
Where was your favourite place to have a drink?
Oh, see, it's been a while, hasn't it?
We've dropped the ball, girl.
Man, oh man.
Leonita.
Okay. Lo siento. My favourite place to, and I haven't even thought about this, but I am going to say that now, is to have a glass of wine, was definitely on our balcony at sunset looking over that the Langham down to the beach there. That was pretty amazing for me, and you can see that on our Instagram at Beach Travel Wine. And what about you? Thank goodness he's on the ball today.
Oh, I probably would go with you on the sitting on the balcony having a nice glass of wine, but I can't do that because you've already taken it.
What about having a cold beer at the racetrack?
Yeah, I reckon that's probably with all the crew and all the family, and celebrate the win.
Or an Amersfield at Mama Sands.
Oh yeah, that's good too.
Yeah.
I actually, to be honest, as soon as we get off here, I'm going to ask Liam whether we can jump in the car. It's about 2.5 hours to surface and make a booking at Mama Sands because she's just made me so hungry. But
Anyway, we hope you enjoyed our podcast all about the Gold Coast, and we're back in Australia for a few more podcasts. So we'll see you next time on Beach Travel Wine Podcast.
See you later.
Hey, just before we go, thanks for listening this far. Lyle and I would love to know where your favourite place to have a drink is, a wine, a beer, a cocktail. We're getting people reaching out telling us where they're listening. We'd love to know. So send us an email to leanne@beachtravelwine.com and tell us where you've been enjoying a wine lately. Or you can reach out on Instagram at Beach Travel Wine, and we might give you a shout out in our next podcast.